friend, let me start by saying something that's been eating at me for months now. The presidency is not a business opportunity. It's a job, a public service. You're supposed to serve the people, not yourself. I say that because I need you to understand what I'm about to describe to you. Because once you see it, you can't unsee it. For the last 9 months, we've been watching the headlines pile up. Every single week, there's another Trump deal, another venture, another scheme. Mar-a-Lago's membership prices, crypto launches, Bitcoin mining partnerships, foreign resort deals, and they just keep coming. I realized something. We're not even shocked anymore. We're just tracking it. Like watching a business portfolio. Like this is normal. Like the president of the United States turning the office into a personal profit machine is just Tuesday. Here's the thing that actually pisses me off. This shouldn't be normal. And the fact that we've accepted it as normal, that we're treating each new monetization scheme like it's a separate news story instead of seeing the pattern, that's the real problem. I'm not going to bury the lead here. According to the New Yorker, and this was covered in an NPR interview in August, Trump and his immediate family have made $3.4 billion directly attributable to his presidency. $3.4 billion. That's not estimated wealth. That's not net worth calculations. That's money that exists because he's president. Not money he would have made anyway. Let's be specific about what that means. Mar-a-Lago, the private club in Palm Beach, in 2016, its initiation fees were $100,000. By fall of 2024, just before he took office again, they were $1 million. $1 million to join a club. Why? Because being close to the president is now worth $1 million. The club's annual operating revenue went from about $10 million to $50 million. $50 million. And David Kirkpatrick, he's a reporter at the New Yorker, estimates that Trump is making an extra $125 million specifically because of his presidential status. Not because Mar-a-Lago is a nice club, because he's the president. That's the monetization. That's real money changing hands because of public office. Then there's cryptocurrency, because of course there is. The Trump family launched $Trump. That's a literal cryptocurrency with his name on it. They're reselling NFTs of Trump images. They co-founded something called World Liberty Financial that issues stable coins. And Trump Media and Technology Group, which is the parent company of Truth Social, they rebranded as a crypto holding company and issued inflated stock prices to raise $2.3 billion, which they then used to buy Bitcoin. Think about that for a second. A publicly traded company whose stock value is inflated because the president owns it, using that inflated valuation to raise money to speculate on cryptocurrency. That's not business as usual. That's weaponizing access. Then there's this Bitcoin mining thing. And this one's interesting because it shows you how the machine works. Donald Trump Jr. and Eric Trump got into a partnership with a Bitcoin mining company. They didn't put in capital. They didn't provide operational expertise. They contributed their names, their access, the Trump brand. In exchange, they got a 13% equity stake in a company that claims to have $100 million in mining equipment. So let me understand this. You put in nothing but your name, and you get 13% of a $100 million operation. When that company goes public, and let's assume it does, that's a massive windfall. All for being related to the president. And here's the thing that gets me. This is new. This isn't how it works normally. This is specifically enabled by being the family of a guy in charge. But wait, there's more. Trump Jr. became a partner at something called 1789 Capital less than a week after Trump was reelected. Less than a week. A brand new venture, and the president's son is a partner. What do you think that firm's main pitch is? We monetize the president's vision. That's not a coincidence. That's a business model. And then we get to the international deals, the foreign policy angle. Since Trump took office in January, the Trump Organization has pursued at least 5 major real estate and branding deals in the Persian Gulf: Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar. They've looked at hotels, golf resorts, luxury developments. And here's the kicker. Trump and his company pledged to pause foreign business during his first term. They didn't. And now they're not even pretending to hesitate anymore. In May 2025, the U.S. and Saudi Arabia announced a $600 billion commercial agreements, the largest set of deals on record between the two countries. $600 billion. And guess whose company is also doing deals in Saudi Arabia at the exact same time? Now, I want to be careful here. Real estate developers do business internationally. That's normal. But there's a difference between doing business as a private citizen and doing it while you're the president, and the country you're president of has significant foreign policy interests in the region you're developing in. The family business ties to the Middle East have more than tripled since his first term. Tripled. And billions of dollars have poured into Trump-owned companies in recent months. And the question nobody's asking loudly enough, are these financial windfalls influencing policy, or is the policy creating the windfalls? When a foreign government invests in Trump's properties or approves Trump deals, is that investment, or is it diplomacy by other means? Is it a Saudi prince saying, I want this hotel built? Or is it a Saudi prince saying, I want the American president to remember that we're investing in his brand? I don't know the answer. But I know that question should be getting asked a lot more than it is. And I know that nobody at the highest levels is asking it. Here's the thing that actually concerns me. And this is where I want you to really think about something. Every president who came before Trump for the last 50 years or more, they waited. They cashed in after they left office. Bill Clinton made more money from speaking fees in his memoir. Obama got a Netflix deal and book royalties. George W. Bush sold paintings and did corporate board stuff. But they did it after the presidency was over, after the power was gone. There was a line, not a legal line necessarily, but a cultural one. An understanding that you don't profit from power while you're wielding it. But Jimmy Carter. Let me tell you about Jimmy Carter, because this is important. Carter was a peanut farmer, a successful businessman. He had real assets. When he became president, he put his peanut farm in a blind trust specifically to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest. He did this because he understood something about the office. It's not yours to profit from. Here's the part that kills me. When he left office, his trustees had mismanaged the blind trust, and Carter came out of the presidency having lost over $1 million. $1 million. He lost money personally to avoid the appearance of propriety. That was the precedent. That's where we were. Now we got a president turning his club into a premium priced access point for political favors, launching cryptocurrency schemes, cutting international deals that benefit his family financially, while his administration makes policies that affect those same countries. And his adult children are getting equity stakes in companies just for putting their names on them. The distance we've traveled from Carter to here, that's not just a different president. That's a completely different understanding of what the presidency is and what it's for. I want to be really clear about something. I'm not saying Trump is the only politician who's ever thought about money. I'm not saying previous presidents were saints. Clinton had controversies. Obama had questions about his connections. Bush had Halliburton connections. But there's a difference between messy situations where conflicts aren't perfectly clear and this, where the monetization is explicit and systemic. And it's happening in real time and nobody's even pretending it's not happening. This is out in the open. This has been normalized. This is just what we're doing now. Previous presidents hid their profit motive until after their term. They put their businesses in trusts or sold them. They waited. They at least pretended the office meant something other than an opportunity. Trump doesn't pretend. Trump's family doesn't pretend. They're not bothering with the fig leaf. And we're what? We're just accepting it? And I guess my question is, when did we decide that was okay? When did we stop caring about the appearance of conflict? When did we start thinking it's normal for the president to profit directly from his office? When did we accept that the business of being president is just another business venture? Because I remember a time not that long ago when we pretended to care about this stuff, when ethics complaints meant something, when conflicts of interest were supposed to be avoided or at least disclosed, when there was at least a fig leaf of pretending that you weren't using your position to get rich. That fig leaf is gone. And I'm trying to figure out if that's just Trump or if that's us. Here's what I keep coming back to. We're not shocked by each individual deal anymore. We're tracking them, like watching a stock portfolio. Trump, media up. Crypto down. New resort deal announced. Club fees increase another increment. And that fatigue, that acceptance that this is just what's happening, that might be the real story. Because every time a new deal is announced, we have this moment where we could say, that's unacceptable. We could demand investigations. We could push for enforcement. We could make it clear that this crosses a line. But we don't. We just file it away. Add it to the list. Scroll to the next headline. Like I've said it before, I'm not a constitutional scholar. I don't know what the legal remedies are or whether there are any. I don't know if Congress could stop this even if they wanted to, or if they're just choosing not to. I don't know if there's actually a law being broken or if we've just decided that ethics are optional now. But I know that we've normalized something that shouldn't be normalized. I know that we're allowing a new precedent to be set. I know that the next president is watching this and making notes. And I know that if you flip the names, if it was the other guy doing this, you'd be losing your minds. So here's where I land on this. The presidency is supposed to serve the people. That's the deal. You take the job, you make a salary, you get security, you get power for 4 years, but you don't get to use that power to get rich. You don't get to turn public office into a personal ATM. That's not capitalism. That's not business. That's theft of public trust. And the fact that we're allowing it, that we're treating each new deal like it's just another day of the week, that says something about us. about what we've decided is acceptable, about the kind of country we want to be. Here's my ask. It's not to vote a certain way, not to riot or protest or do anything dramatic. Just ask yourself, why are we okay with this? Not, is it legal? Because maybe it is. Maybe there's some weird gray area in the law. But ask, why are we okay with it? Why have we decided that this is just business as usual? Why have we decided that a president can openly profit from his office without consequence? And then ask yourself the harder question. If the next president, regardless of party, tries to do the same thing, what are you going to say? Because that's when you'll know if you actually care about this or if you just cared about who was doing it. Because the monetization of the presidency didn't have to happen. It happened because nothing stopped it. And nothing's going to stop the next one unless we decide it matters. We had a standard. Jimmy Carter proved it. You put your business in a blind trust. You accept a loss if necessary. You sacrifice for the office. That was the deal. We don't have that standard anymore. And somebody decided that was fine. Look, that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for sticking with me on this one. Now get off my lawn.